0912069. Let's look at The Guardian now. Reps intervene in El Majri evacuation. Speaker deplores neglect of government property. The House of Reps has charged governors of northern states to immediately stop the evacuation of Al Majari from their states, adopting a motion by Aishatu Jibril Duku at plenary, presided by Speaker Femi Bajabiamila. It urged the Presidential Task Force (PTF) on COVID-19 to enforce interstate travel ban and direct the governors to abide by the directives. Details are in the Guardian newspaper.
Exactly our point in the analysis a few minutes ago. And the fact there is that the interstate lockdown being compromised by various state governors on account of the evacuation of Almajiris to their indigenous states is definitely worrisome and could actually has actually brought about some of the community transmissions that we have seen. And so that position by the House of Assembly, sorry, by the National Assembly is key. And of course, the federal government should, enforce the ban on interstate movement. By that, governors who are carrying out this evacuation should also stop forthwith.
Okay, let's look at another story now. Senate's probe of NDDC complementing federal government's forensic audit, says Lawan. President of the Senate Ahmed Lawan has said that the probe into the finances of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) by the Senate is to complement the forensic audit ordered by the federal government. Lawan said this yesterday while inaugurating a seven-man ad hoc committee on alleged financial recklessness in the NCDC or the NDDC. See details in the Guardian newspaper.
Well, I think that we shouldn't waste taxpayers' money, by instituting all manner of probes. The one that is being carried out by the federal government is expected to be independent. And if you ask me, those who make NDDC their clearinghouse, who are they? They're not far from members of the National Assembly in one form or the other, who get jobs, buy them off, and then sell them off. That's the truth about it. And I stand, to be corrected by anybody. And so they were not supposed to institute this. They were supposed to allow the federal government carry out its forensic audit. And of course, once that is out, we'll be able to know who the culprits are. The NDC, that of the National Assembly, is only trying to politicize the process. They should withdraw it immediately.
Okay, now let's see one more story in the Guardian newspaper. EFCC arrests two Chinese for offering 100 million naira bribe to official. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) Sokoto Zonal Office has arrested two Chinese men, Meng Wei-kun and Zhu Kuoi, for offering its zonal head Abdullahi Lawal 50 million naira alleged bribe. In a statement yesterday in Abuja by its spokesman, Dele Oyewale, EFCC disclosed that the suspects were arrested on Monday, May 11, 2020, in Sokoto. According to Oyewale, the alleged bribe was offered in a desperate bid to compromise ongoing investigation of a construction company, China Zhonghao Nigeria Limited, handling some para-state government contracts worth 50 billion naira between 2012 and 2019.
And the worrying thing here is, where did they learn this from? That if you offer bribes to a security agency, you could be let off, the hook, or how? Have they come to learn that it is our way of life in this country? Because they dare not give that out to their security agencies back in China, because China has high level of zero tolerance as far as corruption is concerned. Um, I want to salute the courage of the EFCC not to have also, taken this bribe and of course turning their eyes on the other side. That is highly commendable. It is the kind of attitude that is commended for all our security agencies. And that was what Nigeria used to be in the 70s. I hope that the very investigation will take its full course and, of course, culprits brought to book.
Very importantly, the people who offering the bribes, the Chinese international community will, of course, look at this, and you know, it's a contrast if you consider the image Nigeria had abroad, and this one happens. Surely, it helps in peppering up the image of the country abroad. We'll go on now to the Punch newspaper. The first headline here is policeman beat LASMA officer to a pulp. Pandemonium broke out in the Apapa area of Lagos State on Monday as some policemen reportedly beat a senior officer of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, Roland Fuludu, to a pulp. It was gathered that the traffic officer was beaten by policemen led by one SP Femi Iwasoku, who for allegedly interfering with their job. The Punch has details.
Well, the fact there is that within the security system, obstruction, placed in their way while carrying out actions, attract um, various sanctions. But I don't think he has the right to beat that traffic officer to pop or beating him blue black. What he would have done is to apply or secure his arrest and prosecute him in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. However, I also know that there's usually an interface between these paramilitary or government agencies and the police from time to time as they go out to do their work. And perhaps that understanding broke down in this case. It will perhaps take the heads of the agency, that's for the traffic officer, and of course the commissioner of police to address this.
All right, moving on. Uncertainty surrounds Gambari's reported appointment as Buhari's chief of staff. Uncertainty on Tuesday surrounded the appointment of Professor Ibrahim Gambari as the new chief of staff to the president, Muhammadu Buhari. The Emir of Ilorin, Alhaji Sulu Gambari, had in a statement on Tuesday uh, signed by his media aide Abdulaziz Arwana, expressed appreciation to the president for appointing Gambari as his new chief of staff. But even with the reports and the emir's congratulatory message, the presidency, as at 6:29 p.m., made no official confirmation or denial on Tuesday of the reported appointment of Gambari. And that was a report from the Punch newspaper.
Well, this one is very hard to swallow because at some point it was also said of Kingibe, former um, running mate to Abiola, as someone who may have been appointed as the chief of staff to Mr. President. So we need clarification from Asorok whether it is Gambari or Kingibe.
All right, and still in the Punch, Nigerians picking face masks from dump sites. Presidential task force cries out. And we have some riders. State private hospitals in Lagos get coronavirus accreditation. Panel deploys pathologists over Bauchi Jigawa strange deaths. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has raised the alarm over an unhealthy practice of some Nigerians who pick face masks from rubbish dumps and sell them. The chairman of the task force and secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who raised the alarm at the PTF press briefing in Abuja, warned that such a practice would worsen the spread of COVID-19 in the country. The Punch has more.
Yes, it's a tough one because if you have medical workers who probably use their face masks for just a particular purpose, and then this is evacuated to dump sites, and then scavengers go there, pick them up, and begin to use them. I mean, for those who are infested, then there could be real problem. So the warning is one that is good, but I also think that yes, waste managers across the country at this point must also be educated on the issues of disposing of waste, that's collection, disposal, and then ensuring that no scavengers go close to where you have dump sites to avoid the issue of picking up these nose guards from the various refuse dumps.
Okay, you're still listening to Papers Today on Trend 100.9 FM. We'll look at the blueprint now. Banditry. Senate seeks drastic action on Niger and Katsina. COVID-19. Federal government to support homegrown vaccine with 100 billion naira. Base 471 deaths not connected to COVID-19. See details in the blueprint.
Federal government to go about the homegrown vaccine
Vaccine
with 100 billion.
100 billion naira.